Oklahoma, where the wind comes rustling down the plains.
Just out of frame, you can see Nathan Henson mouthing the words.
He loves it. He's an Okie. He's a guns up, go Pokes is what he is. Some other people are walking around here yelling boomer, and then somebody else yells Sooner, and I duck. I think it's a drive-by or something. That was a bad joke.
Jim said hook 'em earlier. I thought he was going to die.
Oh, yeah, you cannot say hook 'em here.
Don't do that, and even in a Target.
Oh, no, they take it serious over here. It's that Red River rivalry, which the Red River is a river that is on the Oklahoma-Texas border.
I drove over the Red River today on the way here.
And I'll tell you what, if anybody has watched that 1883 series that was really big, the Yellowstone precursor, they talk about crossing the Red River back in the going out west days. So there's a lot of history in this part of the world. That's what absolutely enthralls me about, Texas, Oklahoma, all this area.
Yeah, I feel like my crossing the Red River today was a little lackluster in comparison, I would think.
Yeah. And
very little fanfare.
Yeah. Yeah. At least your covered wagon didn't get tipped over, right?
Casino for an hour and a half before.
7:11.
We're running a little late this morning. We're here in Norman, Oklahoma, and at the beautiful
Embassy
Suites.
It's a great facility. They've had it here for, again, a long time. It's great. I like these where we can be all under one roof, that it's easy to get around going back and forth to the convention areas and such.
I was telling you earlier, it seems like I've been to a lot of conferences in this conference center here.
Yeah.
This little area has really grown. It's a great spot for conferences here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It's easy to get in and out of. And I tell you, one of the nicest reminders when I was leaving the airport yesterday, you're leaving the airport and there's a couple pump jacks working literally on the edge of the airport property. So oil production is still very much underway all over this parts.
Oklahoma's so diverse on the drive up across the Red River. There's, where is it? Just outside of, is that Ardmore?
I don't know where that is.
If it is even that far, there's windmills up on the hill there. You pass by, tons of prairie land and cows, and there's just hills coming in, obviously oil and gas everywhere. And then you can buy pot on every corner.
Yep. Allegedly.
Very, very diverse, economy here. The reservations, the casinos here, I was just saying, it's a very diverse state. I do a lot of business up here because of the Oklahoma Gas Association. Thank you, sir, for teeing me up there all those years ago. Yeah. Now, I know this place meant a lot for you.
Oh, absolutely. Near and dear to my heart. Actually, the one reason it is near and dear is that, and I've said many times, my great-grandfather, Red Shower, started in the oil patch in Oklahoma. Oh, I was trying to figure it out, probably 90 to 100 years ago. And some of those pump jacks are still in our family name. They're still producing a little teeny bit of oil. So
I wonder what Red Shower was like.
Oh, I, again, never met him. I mean,
I imagine him just as spry as you.
Probably as me.
About the same age, right?
Oh.
Just spry as ever, making old man jokes.
Oh, he was from what I understand, he was a wheeler and a dealer from the oil patch here. Then he got hooked into some things in Chicago in the heyday. So,
hopefully the good things in Chicago.
I don't know about that, but anyways, he was quite a legacy with the. He was actually quite the legacy of the family. So
businessman.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely was.
I like it. And you did quite a bit of work here. Came to several events here, like you said, for the OGA.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you teed me up at the beginning of the pandemic and said, "Hey, there's some change going on in OGA. I've got work to do in Florida now, and I want to leave this in good hands." And
would you do it? Would you take it on? Well, it just makes sense, time, talent, and treasures, and the things that what I was hearing that they needed. I said out loud many times, "That's James Cross. That's James Cross. That's James Cross." And it wasn't that I was abandoning it. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't taking up space, so to speak, that somebody like you with your passions and purposes could fill in. And honestly, every time I talk to somebody at the OGA, they're like, "Man, that James is really helping us out a lot,"
Well, I pay them quite a bit.
You don't pay them anything, brother. They love you.
Yeah. I have spent quite a bit of time up here. We have monthly meetings for OGA, and a lot of them are virtual now.
Sure.
That I can see why you moved to Florida, because you couldn't go to every monthly meeting.
Well,
no, it is tough, but virtually has allowed it to do it. And that's something we talk about in the session that we're putting on tomorrow on Claim Your Seat at the Table. Is virtual has really allowed for a lot more people to get involved.
It has.
That number one wouldn't be able to travel out, or second, probably didn't even know it existed before.
No, it didn't exist. And I think we as a society and industry and we were just thrust into this virtual world, from kids in kindergarten all the way up to everybody in the business world. And either it was like, learn it or learn it, because you had to learn it. There wasn't really an option. And it really then opened up the idea that we could conduct business, and we could conduct meetings, and we could conduct associations virtually. And does it take the place of in person? Absolutely not. But I tell you what, it was an absolute, godsend during that time that we could at least see people, see expressions, understand how people are doing. At least with the video, it made it seem like a lot more personal than just being on the old ways of a conference call. So.
Yep. And we got a day and a half here.
We do.
We're here a day early, so we have all day tomorrow, and then Wednesday morning as well. We're going to be recording live from here. Mm-hmm. It's the first time. Last year, Jason Crow joined me.
Yeah, guest host.
Co-host. Yeah. First and only?
Yeah, I think so.
He did so bad that we never considered it again. No, I'm just kidding.
He did great.
He was a rock star.
Absolutely phenomenal.
I remember he showed up and he was wearing his coat, and I had dressed down for the day.
He had the sport coat. He had the Jimmy sport coat on. There we go.
He was a pro, and I looked like a chump. But I bet we'll have him on.
Oh, we're going to have him on.
Kaufman, we already saw. We'll have him on. We're going to be pulling. I hope to see Larry.
Larry Allspaw?
Mr. Allspaw.
Yep.
I bet he'll get on with us, talk a little bit. Hopefully some new friends here.
Yeah, last night saw Southern Star Pipeline. Shout out to our Southern Star friends. Saw Dawn last night. She made it in. MRC Global is in the house. Yep. Saw Dave from System Services, one of our clients at Energy WorldNet. And then a whole Summit Utilities and such like that. All the utilities are starting to roll in, which is wonderful.
I've got a panel tomorrow. We speak in the morning. Claim Your Seat at the Table. So we're going to be delivering that. And then in the afternoon, I've got a damage prevention panel as well.
Did you claim your seat at the table as moderator? Yeah.
Yep, I like to live by what I preach. And so I raised my hand, and they said, "Oh, absolutely," just like they will for you. There are plenty of seats at the table.
I tell you what, if you want, all you have to do is say, "Where? How can I help?"
But that should be cool. We're going to talk a little bit about the 50 and 5 that was posed earlier in the year.
The Common Ground Alliance, yeah.
We were at.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit with those experts and see how they're going to tackle that problem. So kind of neat that we got to be there. And then now we're talking with it. You talk about those echoes. We were just at the Louisiana Gas Association a few weeks back, and we talked with a lot of people there about those echoes that that conference makes.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, it was amazing how many people that were actually talking about the 50 and 5 at the LGA a couple weeks back. And I was like, it's nice to hear that it didn't, sometimes you go to conferences and you leave like on fire, and you've met so many people and heard so many sessions and you learn so many things, and you just hope it doesn't, end when you step out of the event, so to speak. But those people were talking about that 50 and 5, and
we've heard that a lot.
A challenge, yes, but do they think it's achievable? I mean, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So people are just saying, how are we going to try to start to do that? 50 and 5, reduce damage incidents by 50% over the next 5 years.
Yep. A big task, especially with all the infrastructure updates we know that are scheduled to kick off and have already kicked off. So yeah, it should be an interesting topic. Full couple of days. I got to get on the golf course. If I'm going to be honest, I got to hurry up here and wrap up. So
I'm going to drive over with you. I want to go say hi to folks and such like that.
8 today, I think.
Yeah, I am not golfing, but I do want to go over and say hi to folks. That'll be a good thing. And I'll take the I don't know what you're driving. It doesn't even have
talk about that truck.
I mean, does it even have power windows, or do I crank them?
I'd rather be in Dimples. It's low budget. No. Hey, we're going to be here all week. We'll grab some people and bring them on. And yeah, good to see you.
Always, brother. Always, brother.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
Sorry, am I good now?
You're good.
Okay.
One more time.
Clay
no,
was
I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding. Was an overachiever on that. James, connect.
So we're not going to talk about the golf course tomorrow.
Why?
I mean, yesterday it was so. Yeah. Well, because I only got to play 9 holes is one of the problems.
Clay played 18.
Did we win?
I believe we came in second, and probably would have won had you not bailed on us after the first 9.
Okay.
So
I mean, Nathan's standing right there. It's kind of awkward that you would say that. I heard Nathan's game picked up when I left.
Nathan had
It was the intimidation.
clutch shots after you left.
I think everybody's game picked up after you left, James.
Well, I think most of them must have been saving them till I left because I didn't see much of it while I was there. Including myself.
I had the best job yesterday. Jeff and I got to drive around and greet people and talk. Do what we do best.
Love it. Love it. If you can't make money, make friends.
Absolutely.
It's one of our
Speaking of which, I just met this guy. Well,
I went down memory lane.
No.
That whole gym thing.
We just reconnected. If Clay has been involved with the Tennessee Gas Association for years, there's absolutely zero chance that we have not run into each other in the past. So, but we just, I would say, reconnected, kindled our friendship. So,
and it was great. This is my first time at this event. It's super happy to be here. It's been great so far. Getting to meet a lot of nice folks that I've met before, and a lot of folks that I haven't met before.
Rekindled, and
it's just getting kindled today. 2 days, the big day.
It's day 2.
At the end, that's pay. Day 1.
Day 2.
I think that yesterday was day 0. That's what I call it.
You're always confused.
He still had a job yesterday. We still all had a job. We had something to do. He had to go around and do what he does best. And
basically, I was a sponsored golfer yesterday. That's how I like to think about it.
You were.
I have logos on the ball on the shirt.
I tell you what,
it's getting paid. It's a good day.
It was a good day.
It was. Clay, there's a few people out there may not know who you are. Do us a favor. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Clay Coons. I'm with a company called Southern Cross. Based out of I live in Nashville, Tennessee. Our company's based out of Norcross, Georgia, just north of Atlanta, and we do a host of different services for municipalities, for gas companies, for electric, water, sewer. We do a leak survey. We do locating. We do field services. We just purchased a new company called Satellytics that we're using satellite algorithms to detect for leak detection. So there's a whole lot going on in this industry.
I was going to say,
you guys know,
a little busy right now trying to figure it all out.
And
yeah, we have a few friends at Southern Cross, don't we?
I was going to say, who rings a bell there?
Tim Jackson. Oh, I gotta get my jeans starched, Jim. I gotta drive 87 miles. I can get my jeans starched.
Yeah.
I love Tim. He's a dear friend. I love you, Tim. And Jordan.
I know.
Jordan is great. Yeah.
Saw Jordan a lot this year.
We have seen her a lot. Yep.
I tell you, one of the nicest things about coming to work for these guys, really and truly, is they have a phenomenal culture
Yes.
across the board. And that was after working somewhere for 18 years. It's difficult to up and try to decide to leave and do something different, but it was scary. But I'm super, super excited to be with these guys. It's a great team. Their focus is the right way, and I'm just happy to be
Way
here.
to be brave.
We'd love to hear that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You said it's your first OGA, correct? So we're kind of challenging people back home, and you being someone who just decided to join us this year, what could you say to folks back home, maybe to inspire them to come out next year?
Well, I can say this. This year alone, I've probably done upwards of 12 to 14 trade shows, and I have about 5 more to go before the end of the year.
Same.
So you guys know.
Seriously.
You see all
Out
over.
there on the circuit.
You see the ups and the downs and the goods and the bads. And since I got here to Oklahoma, everyone here has been unbelievably kind.
Yeah.
Super, just great people in general. Very welcoming. Obviously, this being my first event, I'm meeting a lot of new folks, seeing a lot of new faces, which is important. But it's been very, very, very welcoming, and I would strongly recommend anybody that has an interest, you need to get out here because it's a very welcoming and nice event.
Can't say it any better than that. I'm just hoping next year I get to play a full 18 holes.
That's okay.
2 years in a row. I got rained out last year, and then
Really?
yesterday I just made an adult decision.
Well, we had a lot going on, so you needed to balance your time wisely.
Absolutely.
Clay, we appreciate you, brother. And
Thank you.
hey, we'll be back.
See you in a bit.
Just be good stewards of the mic.
Good stewards of the mic.
Stewards.
Steward.
I like to say Stewart.
I like
it's
to say-
our Stewart.
I like to say the whole gambit of the stewards.
Oh, man. We ever told you that story? No. That I let him for 3 years while we were on the podcast say Gambit when he meant gamut. And then I finally told him one day.
3 years.
I'm like, you used the wrong word the whole time. Like I let it happen because I like the long joke. I'm a long joke guy. Like I think it's the greatest jokes of all time.
I can see 3 minutes, not 3 years.
3 years, 3.5 years, I would argue.
Gambit.
He would say,
show.
The whole gambit. And I'd go,
never caught on.
and just smile at the camera. Well, I finally, it all pent up finally. And one day I just lashed out at him, told him.
James had finally reached that record setting.
And you know how when he gets to that point, he goes like this, let me just tell you. That was him getting to his point.
Just as subtle as,
Just tell you, gamut.
Gambit is like a strategy, like in chess, right? The queen's gambit. And he's like, yeah. It's like when you're using it, you're thinking gamut as in a range, right? An array.
Everything.
And he's like, oh. And so now on the show, if you ever catch it, and now he uses it correctly.
Yeah.
But when he says it,
You're replaying every episode.
it's the inside joke, right? We laugh about it. So
But
anyway, it's enough about us.
But I started watching that show, the Queen's Gambit.
Gosh, see, and now I get the backwards jokes.
Oh,
It's terrible.
it'll never end.
Anyway,
So let's get back on track.
Yeah.
Enough of the lollygagging around. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Nathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have you been on before, Nathan? I know we should probably know.
Yes, he has. I
Maybe
think.
like Tailgate.
Yep. Tailgate
We did tailgate.com.
B1.
Yeah. Yep.
That's actually a great topic. We just had our tailgate. It's now been 6 weeks or so, 6-8 weeks. This year we had a big tailgate week, and at Energy World Net, what we do is we bring our whole company together. We break bread together. We sit together. We learn together. We train together. We teach together. And you were a big part of that. How'd you think it went?
I thought it went well. We had a big focus the initial year, just kind of bringing everybody back together, coming back out of the pandemic and kind of getting the teams together. This last year, we really focused in on so many new faces and trying to get them more familiar with a lot of the different areas of the company and how we all come together as one team to unite on that single vision and move forward. So we had a lot of people kind of got back to our grassroots and really helped them understand those basic things that everybody does in their day-to-day role, and then really help them kind of come together. So
And
a lot of good feedback, positive.
I think the feedback was positive. And again, we did 3 full days, if my memory doesn't.
And a fun day,
at
the end.
The fun day, yeah.
6 Flags at the end with all of our families.
Huge investment, Energy World Net makes in our team together. And
well, and we saw behind the scenes of how much time goes into curating that week so that we're covering the right things, teaching the right things, prepping, doing the work together, right?
Yep.
And so it's a big investment. Very cool. And I would argue very similar to what goes on here at OGA, right?
It is.
We get together once a year at the annual and do great things. You've been here a couple of times now, and you've been kind of a fly on the wall in a lot of the goings on at OGA. You like it here?
I do. You know, my role at Energy World Net's more on the internal operations side. And so being an Oklahoma resident and having the opportunity to come together and meet some of our clients out here in the field it's unique for me, right? Get out from behind the computer, get to see some of the names and faces that are right in my own backyard.
Absolutely.
You know, I love coming down and visiting the office in Texas, but there's just something special about connecting with our clients and our partners here right in my own backyard.
And it is your backyard. You're out of Tulsa, so you are right here.
You know, it made me think of it. I hope I'm right. And we don't have to name names of the companies or the people or anything, but you saying, you know, working with people that are in your backyard. We had someone, I believe it was one of your friends or maybe family or someone in the Tulsa area, had an issue one day, needed natural gas. Maybe it was a new home or something like that.
Yep.
And we called on our operator friends because it was a holiday or a storm or something. And we literally called on our friends at OGA that was at that operator and used that network to try to expedite that call.
Yeah.
That's a real world calling on your friends. We talk about it, but that's really how things get done here in Oklahoma.
It's fantastic. And it went very quickly. We were able to get to the bottom of it very quickly. Found out that, you know, a couple of parts had just kind of not been calibrated properly, but once it got escalated up, we
done.
Spoke to them, got the right people involved, and they were able to get their heat turned back on just in time for the holidays when family was coming in. So it was great.
Very cool. Well, we're kind of throwing down the gauntlet for people back home that maybe have never been out to an OGA event or, you know, are on the fence on whether they should be out here next year. What could you say to those folks now, you being a seasoned OGA pro?
You know, I really think that I've been to a couple of different conferences, and OGA is right up there with some of the best. And so we offer a lot.
He's from Oklahoma, dude. He's a homer.
I may be a little biased, but I really do think that we offer a lot. And I think the damage prevention piece, the presence, especially this year, the damage prevention, all of the OGA 811 and 811 in general, the presence that we've seen here and the focus on the damage prevention piece has really been incredible to watch and see. So I highly recommend it. Get out, get involved. That's how we make our industry better, especially here in the state of Oklahoma, is getting involved and getting outside your comfort zone and getting plugged in.
I'm proud Okie.
Claim your seat at the table. I think that's what you're telling folks to do.
Yeah.
And we have plenty of seats here for them to grab, right?
Shameless plug. I like it. You're a pro, Nathan. Always a pleasure to do business with you.
Always thank you.
All right, we'll be back.
Definitely. Lean in.
Hanging out the
Can I just say one thing without a pillow at this conference? Next to you two, I feel like Danny DeVito next to Arnold Schwarzenegger's, both you guys.
I don't know.
That's how I feel right now.
Well,
I feel like I'm at the kid table.
Yep. There I go, touching the mic again. Don't touch the mic. That's what I was told. That's what I got in trouble for today. We're here with my good friend, fellow board member. So we've got to hang out a lot this year, and we're really proud because we're here at our annual conference, brother.
Yeah, the OGA. Yeah, it's great. Appreciate James, and like I said, I never really knew you before I'd seen you at events.
Same.
And now just getting to have side conversations about whatever comes up. It's really nice.
Yeah. You need to shoot an email over. We talk about it all the time about being able to just reach out to our industry people. We're just friends, man.
Yeah.
Now we're just friends.
That's what that's the beauty of the industry is when you achieve that friendship level, then you can rely on that person for a whole host of anything of your needs, information, best practices, safety tips, whatever those are.
I mean, if across the industries and utilities, I don't know how it is because I haven't spent a lot of time, but in the gas side, it's always been like family, kind of like
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's unique to us or if it's utilities in general. You've seen more than I have.
I don't know that I have. You see, he thought I was a professional. How about you?
No, this culture carries throughout the United States, and I would call it the littlest biggest or the biggest littlest industry that there is. It's very close knit and very intertwined.
Nate, before we get too far down the road, do us a favor. Introduce yourself to the audience and who you're with.
My name is Nate Tater. I'm area manager for Eastern Oklahoma on Summit Utilities. That's the official title.
I could tell he had an Oklahoma accent.
I saw a little Minnesota accent in there. Oh yeah.
How did y'all know? Like, how did you just flock to each other?
We just flopped. We're past center. Well, I'm past center point. You're center point migrated in the Summit. So
Exactly.
yeah, we both were in Minnesota.
Time.
Yeah.
So did y'all go down the path? Oh, did you know so and so?
No,
Did you know?
absolutely.
So how many degrees of Kevin Bacon did y'all
Oh,
know?
I'm surprised that we probably have met in the past. I cannot believe that we haven't, but we're 1 degree of separation all the way up and down.
See,
I like
say.
bacon.
for some
From Kevin Bacon.
Same.
Oh, I love bacon.
Speaking of, we're at the
Makes everything better.
We're about to eat some bacon wrap something
Right.
tonight at the barbecue showdown.
Can't wait.
People's
Choice.
I can smell the barbecue coming through the
We're
doors
just
over
gonna
here.
go sneak out there.
Yeah, we're
you
gonna-
know some people that could get us in.
Italian sausage sampler out there.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Could you get us in?
Come on. We know a guy.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. We'll be back after.
We're gonna do that.
We got to keep
We
going.
are going to do that though.
Let's talk about this event. We got
Let's do it. So we
here.
we spend the pretty much the whole year, especially from our leadership, or I'm sorry, our board retreat forward planning this event.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that. And so unlike other maybe associations, we don't have committees that are doing all this. We work on this one, so we take it pretty personally.
Yeah, there's no manual on how to be a board member, right?
No.
So I kind of was expecting that when I showed up the first meeting. It's
Same.
like, somebody tell me what to do.
What's
But,
going on, guys?
like our scholarship program, that's just board members, reviewing the applications.
Doing the work.
And it's fun. You work together with other board members and give people opportunities, and that's exciting. And I feel like it's the same way here. We're giving people opportunities to get exposure to people that they normally wouldn't get an opportunity to see or talk about, and it's helpful. So that's one of the things I really like about being on the board.
Love it. Well, real quick, we're trying to inspire people back home to come out and join us next year. What would you say to somebody who might be, on the fence on joining us?
On the fence, get in here, because you get to observe titans in the industry, how they operate. You get to expose your name, that you're eager and interested, and get that out there. You're going to meet people from all different companies, and you're going to get to sample People's Choice Awards fine barbecue. And that's worth it
Find me
for no other reason.
Say less. Love it.
Book it, Daniel.
Appreciate getting to work with
Right
you,
on.
brother, on the board. And
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
cheers to a good event and some good barbecue. We'll be back. Day one, I think now.
No,
I call it day zero yesterday.
That's
just what I do.
I don't know. That's still our first day. That's the day we get in.
But zero is the first number.
Is it really, or is 1 the first number?
Well,
How about point 5? Will you give me a 0.5 for
it's the
you?
number.
The start of any conference is not a start without "There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and I think that it's growing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Man.
Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. I did start a little raspy.
That was beautiful.
Well,
Thank you, sir.
if you know me,
Man.
maybe not, but I will sometimes break into that at the start of a
Conference?
OGA board meeting or a sales
Shout out.
conference that we have, and everybody is tired and waking up. And what does Larry do?
Sing.
He struts down the aisle singing my favorite song from Oklahoma.
Oh,
But
Oklahoma.
I digress. We're here to talk about the OGA annual conference.
Cast is this for a second.
Hey, please, Larry, we're happy
Yes,
to be on your show
tell us
today.
more.
How can we answer any questions for you? He just see how he did that.
Larry, you did make one mistake, though. You do need to introduce yourself for the folks out home.
I am Larry Allspaw. Many years in the energy industry,
More than 3,
more than 3.
less than 50.
I started out in drilling, went to production, and then was in pipelines for years. And now I'm in creative solutions for emissions and other areas of concern for the industry. I retired,
Yeah.
and I was blessed to be asked to work with Dick Williamson on
Heard of that
RBW
Really?
Energy Advisors.
Okay.
And we're listening to the industry and saying, what is it you need? How are you dealing with some of these regulations? How are you dealing with methane emissions?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Larry facilitated a conversation. I got to have, I guess it was a Zoom call with Dick for, I don't know, about an hour. We just talked. And I'm telling you, it was a highlight,
That's cool.
you know, to get to talk to an icon. And it must be cool to get to work closely with him again.
It is really great. It was really great. My years that I worked at TDW with him,
Sure.
I was not that close. He was up here.
Sure.
He was a worker bee,
Sure.
but I've always respected him. I worked with him in the American Gas Association and different committees, and he encouraged me to participate. And one thing I would, if anyone is out there listening, which I'm sure there are many,
There are a couple.
it never hurts to be actively involved in the OGA, the TGA, LGA, whatever your local or regional industry
A is?
organization.
Did I just say that out loud?
All the A's.
All the A's.
And it really makes a difference. And Dick recognized the value of that you put something back into the industry.
You really do.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's funny you say that because we're actually speaking in, I don't know, about an hour and a half on that
Oh, that's
very
right.
thing. Claim your
Yeah.
seat at the table, which is a cry to our industry that there's plenty of seats at the table, and they look different now. They're all different kinds, like a podcast. That
Yeah.
wasn't an option before. We didn't know it, right? So trying to motivate and empower people to get involved in our awesome industry.
It is great. It is a great industry, and each person have many exhibitors,
Mm-hmm.
and
Close to 40 right now in this room.
yeah. And when we go out there, have an opportunity to teach a class, share knowledge, not necessarily promote or, the goal is not to promote and sell in that classroom. The
No.
goal is to share wisdom that makes the industry safer and more efficient.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about. That's what you guys are. That's what your story is here.
And I used to call these entities networking events, and I've changed my vernacular. They're knowledge sharing events.
Oh.
Because when we're here at night and we're out in the hallway talking, what are we doing? We're sharing knowledge. When we're in the morning at the breakfast time, we're sharing knowledge. We're just really getting together, and that really is beautiful. Let me ask you a question, Larry, for the people, especially for the Oklahoma Gas Association. There's folks out there that are probably saying, wow, that looks really cool. Look at, the room and all the entities. What would you say to them if they don't participate right now to encourage them to come to the OGA and explore the OGA and everything that it has to offer?
that's an interesting question.
It's a 7-part question.
Yeah, I'm
No.
very long-winded with my questions, so
Well, part
Don't
of it,
believe the
one of the
list.
things that I don't necessarily, I not say I don't appreciate, but sometimes there is a order by which people get approved to attend.
okay. Yep.
And so if you're an operator and you're wanting to be here, sometimes you need to do some subtle lobbying. If you're on our newsletter list, see that your boss is on the newsletter list, and then subtly say, hey, here is some really good stuff that's going on, such as we have a legislative forum that you can attend. We have a leadership conference that is just lights out, which James was a part of this year. Yeah, it was.
You really missed out on that
I
one.
missed out on a lot.
It was.
I did.
It was great, and so you've got the legislative forum, you have the leadership, and now we're at the annual conference. And there's, like you said, there's a ton of exhibitors, there's a ton of fellow operators here, and so lobby for it. In many ways, you have to have an approval.
Yeah, and I like the idea of getting everybody on that newsletter list. Why not? It's emailed out. I mean, it's a great information source.
Be mindful of when your budget discussions start, and start lobbying right now to attend this conference next year.
Absolutely.
You probably have training and things that you need anyway, and let's double dip there and create a win-win.
And being respectful of what those budget considerations, but still you start recognizing the value of it.
Love
and people come away from this with a ton of information.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And a ton of contacts too. If they have things associated with work that, hey, I got a question. Hey, let me call Bob or let me call Sue. I met him at the OGA annual conference. There you go. Knowledge sharing.
There we go.
I love the callback. Well, Larry, thank you again for all you do and continue to do, and good luck coming out of retirement. You're like the Michael Jordan of natural gas.
Oh, man.
I like it.
You don't die.
We'll be back.
I am going to that barbecue, and I am going to eat barbecue tomorrow. Like there's I'm living in Florida. I can't get barbecue in Florida. I can get wonderful Cuban cuisine and Colombian and rich, wonderful flavors down there. But then there's a barbecue place, and I go and I'm like, exactly is that? They're like, well, that's ground beef with some open pit barbecue sauce. I'm like, no, nish. No, that is not barbecue. So I'm going to feast tomorrow on barbecue.
Oh, it's been recording the whole time.
That's all right. We're talking about barbecue tomorrow. We're going to go out to the parking lot and we're going to indulge in some heavy barbecue tomorrow. It's one of the great.
Make some mistakes.
It is one of the greatest events
Beat sweats.
at the OGA annual for over a decade. 14 years for me experiencing that.
You?
Yeah, 14.
This is my 14th year here.
What about you?
16. 16. Yeah, 16.
We don't count.
I remember the first time, one of the first times we met.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was.
Did we talk about that on camera?
Yeah, I think it was. And then we got to know each other.
Tell us.
Go ahead, tell them. Thick Pen Energy.
Big Pen Energy.
But we met before that when I was at Centerpoint, but not really well. Not really well, but at Thick Pen, that's when we really got to know each other.
Yes.
And then we got to break bread in Tulsa at Payway.
Anyway, with Jeff Kaufman.
Yeah,
The Pimp Down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's when what's that?
That was a minute ago.
Yeah, it was.
Where did we meet?
We met at
Drop my
EWA
phone.
Con in 2019. That's right.
Texas Motor Speedway.
And last time I saw you was EWA Con last year.
2022.
That's right.
We will speak of it again.
For this guy last OGA.
Because I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it last year.
How all this is connected.
You know what? And what do we do the best? We connect the dots.
Let's switch. We are here. It is our event.
Yes.
Anyway. Yeah.
Well, you folks,
We left you out.
What do you mean?
Our collective.
I mean, you guys are on the board. By proxy, I am one of the most senior members here, at least by age. But
You teed me up. We talked about this in the OGA.
Yeah.
He went around. Everybody gets to see, except June. But we talked about it in the opener, how he kind of teed me up to get involved in the OGA.
When I moved to Florida, because I was so involved, and I'm like, I really can't. I won't be able to.
And that was at the Speedway.
Yeah, which moved quickly after that was into the pandemic year, which went virtual, which for me allowed me to be really involved in the OGA during that time. And I don't know that I would have been able to otherwise.
You're absolutely right. And it really facilitated a big need, because I know when we were talking, I'm like, James is the guy you guys need. He has all the skills, knowledge, skills, and abilities that you were saying, we need this, we need that, we're looking for this. And it really worked out great. I couldn't be really happier, because again, now that I'm in Florida doing more with FINGA, we actually brought up the OGA at a recent FINGA meeting, all the great things that are going on here. And we at FINGA, we try to understand what others are doing in the industry, and we try to look at those, and I'm not going to say copy it by any means, but learn. Just learn from other folks.
I think there's so much truth to that. And I think actually the last time I did see you was at the American Gas Association this year.
Yeah, Grapevine.
And Grapevine.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Jeff Kaufman and I were doing. Looking to find ways to share information.
Definitely.
Across different, similar industries, different geography.
Yeah.
No different than what we do at these conferences, right?
Absolutely.
We bring stakeholders together to have conversations and share ideas. And
Yes.
how do we come up with conferences like these? We do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Collaboration.
And that's exactly what it's all about, is collaboration. That's one of the things I know that we look to constantly bring in is more information, more collaboration as we look to build events like this. What is it that our member companies are looking to learn more about? I know a whole lot about a very small part of the business, and I'm very grateful that over the last years, recently, that, Energy World, that's been a great resource for the OGA. I mean, you guys did an amazing job at our leadership summit this year. I mean, it was fun. Still talking about that.
It was a blast.
Very. So
Dr. Matt joining in now.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just the good stuff.
it was.
That's when you just have a good day. It was one of those where we started it off. And I think first thing out of Matt's mouth was the answers in this room, right? And it's in the dialogue and the sharing and back and forth. And we had such a good time. It was great.
Well, here's the key that I just took away from it. They're still being talked about today. And that means that the messages, the thought processes, the best practices are continuing on. That's what we want. They got to keep moving. They got to keep moving on.
And that's what we look for here at the OGA. What are things that we can bring in and share that are going to be lasting and impactful to those people that attend? So again, I know a lot about a little bit of our business and we link to our other board members, but we also link to our other associates and other people that are in industry, even the Florida Gas Association or American Gas Association. And we look to them not to copy, but to again, share that information, collaborate.
Collaborate.
Exactly.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I had a thought. I just lost it. Oh, yeah. No. I caught it. There's lots of folks here that are nearby. There are maybe in other neighboring states or thinking that, wow, that looks really great, but I live in another state. What'd you say to those folks about maybe having a seat at the table
We
here?
would love for you to come. I know that there's been changes in different neighboring states with different gas associations in recent years, and we really have tried to extend olive branches out to encourage those people to attend.
Yeah.
We look to be a resource for the gas industry here at the Oklahoma Gas Association, whether you're from Oklahoma or not, Kansas, Arkansas, Texas, Timbuktu, doesn't matter. If you're in the business, we'd love to hear from you. We want to know you have a seat at the table here as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, I look around this room right now. There's a lot of people I pass by. I think at least our associates that I've counted 11 different states so far.
So, Crow, we're asking folks while we're here, what would you say to the folks back home that maybe haven't been able to come out to an OGA event? What would you say out to them that might inspire them to join us this year?
If you're in the industry, want to have a great opportunity for getting some education on what's important, relevant in the industry right now, along with an opportunity to connect with some great people in the industry for future collaboration. Maybe enjoy some great barbecue along the way.
Allegedly.
This is the place to be. I mean, it's a relatively inexpensive event to attend. If you look at the grand scheme of things of all these different events we all go to, but it's got such a value and resource of information that's shared and the quality of the people that are here. So that's what I would say.
This one is just starting. People are just starting to file in. It's early. Golf's wrapping up. Play shoots over this way. We're going to have a reception tonight. We've got a full day tomorrow, another half day after that. Anything on the agenda you're looking forward to specifically?
We've got a opening speaker with J.D. Morgan. I actually met him over a year ago. We've got a couple of guys with Coffee with Jim and James. We're going to be doing a great session as well. I'm looking forward to that.
Claim your seat at the table. Yep. We're looking forward to that.
And
That's your bar and ball.
my favorite part of this event actually is getting a chance to connect with others.
Yeah.
Yes, I get a lot of great information, but in the role I'm currently in, I don't get to actively participate in all the sessions that I would like to, but I do get an opportunity to connect with all the people. Really, that fills my cup and makes my heart.
All right, drop. Got it. Done deal. Hey, thanks for having us out here.
Thanks for being here, Jim.
Thanks for all your work you do.
Mr. Chairman.
OGA, Mr. Chairman.
Happy to serve.
Oh.
Happy to serve.
Servant leader.
Look forward to a fun next couple of days. So we'll see you. We should do a Christmas card. Not with
the elf ears and
I just
a virtual Christmas.
be Santa and who's going to be the elf?
Clinton.
Can I be? This is going
The
down.
gift that keeps on giving.
Trying to play this. Let's try.
No, this is what you were signing up for. Look,
Everything.
we've taken a totally different approach these days. Like, this is the stuff people want to see. You want to laugh with your friends.
I want to laugh and have
And
a
this
good
is
time.
90% of what it's like.
And seeing Tim today walking in brought back just I was
Got the 3-tap man hug.
Oh, we did. I saw last time we ran into each other was in Tampa.
different time zone. We were in a different time zone.
Different. Well, I was in my time zone, but you were in a different time.
It was a different time.
Oh, the OGA leadership.
Leadership
I
conference.
say I missed all that now that I'm in Florida, but I saw you in Florida. We had a great time.
Florida was great.
We had a-
Tampa was.
That's
That was my
wonderful.
first trip to Tampa.
You
Yeah.
missed that
And then
one.
you missed CG.
Yeah. Well,
That
I
was
went
the
to.
best one.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
You
CG.
missed-
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, I went to the global instead of.
Both.
CJ.
Both.
Both were great.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for CJ next year. Colorado Springs, I think.
It's in. Yeah, Colorado somewhere. Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's a Biltmore exactly, but it's something like that. Double check us.
High end.
It's like a,
Sarah Magruder Lytle, help us figure that one out real quick, please.
We're at the OGA this
We
year.
are.
Yep, OGA annual conference in Norman, Oklahoma. What are you doing?
so got a little bit of a talking session. Maybe is it tomorrow?
Is that a panel? Is that a panel?
Panel discussion.
Who's
This thing called damage prevention.
who's moderating that?
I think it's a guy named James Cross.
Nice.
Yeah, we've decided it's my side hustle. Is moderating. And
It's a great job.
really, because I don't know a lot, so I ask a lot of questions. But it works out.
It's perfect. You ask questions that people want to hear. They're
You do the same thing you do. You just ramble.
I don't know much about much, so I just ask a lot of questions. What's up?
No, the inquisitive mind is a learning mind.
So what are we going to be talking about tomorrow? I know one of the things we brought up, and I know you weren't at CGA, but we talked about 55 running the challenge. I know we're going to hit on that a little bit. Some of the kind of innovations and things that are going on in our industry. Anything that jumps out to you?
And really kind of an interesting time with damage prevention. I think there's a lot of tension on it. The infrastructure bill and just the amount of work that's going on. It's definitely taken notice. And so these operators kind of under a microscope, I feel like sometimes.
Okay.
What are you doing with these damages? So
Have you seen an increase?
Yeah. I don't want to throw a whole lot out there, but I mean, for me, it's double since I've come into damage prevention. And but the tickets are going up too. So I mean, it's the tickets are going up, but the damages are going up. But my biggest emphasis, I can't control what every excavator out there does and their best practices and how safe they work. We can try our best to educate them. But I really focus on our stuff in-house. We're doing everything we can for getting tickets on time and marking accurately. And we're having those crucial conversations with people digging around the facilities. And coming from a more of a helping standpoint, help me, help you.
Yep.
I think that kind of goes a long way. Believe it or not, I mean, there's a big chunk of those damages. I mean, it's kind of cut into a pie of three, whether it's one call center, excavator, or locator. We own a part of that pie, and so and it's a pretty good chunk of the damages that are happening out there. So if we can kind of clean up our house, that really allows us, one, I think, streamline the process. With all the tickets that are coming in, it's really kind of sometimes clogs the system. Excavators are frustrated because they're showing up to job sites and it's not marked for them, or it's not the right markings, or it puts delays on their end. And so if we can kind of help facilitate that, smooth that process, I think one, excavators will be a lot happier if they show up and do their job. Two, developing those bonds and kind of mutual respect. That way, when an excavator shows up and he knows he's got an issue, he can call one of us as an operator and have the confidence that we're going to deliver what we need to help him get his job.
Working in partnership,
Right.
in a cooperative spirit.
If that's we're at CGA, and what we heard from a lot of people, and I love that you're saying that kind of connection with all of us is what we heard from a lot of people is the only way we're going to get there, the 50 and 5, is together.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to take all of us doing all the things internally, externally, tickets, all the way across the board.
Communication, awareness, education, all the society, all those items. Is there, there's full-time careers, departments, divisions that are focused on this. And I just got to ask the question because it's sitting on me right now. Is there one thing that you would want? There's so many things, but is there one thing you would like people to do first and foremost? Is there anything that can help this right away that you see as low-hanging fruit?
Oh, man. I really think just proper planning kind of goes a long way.
Fair.
Whether you're a homeowner just on a small yard project or a massive excavator municipality working on, water or sewer rehab projects. I mean, having the proper planning, lining out work, being in communication with all the other utilities that are going to be in the scope of your work.
Yep.
Coordinating efforts on those things. And then as your timeline goes along, staying in those communications, because if you've had to have before, but sometimes you can show up and what you planned on doing that day is not happening at all.
Yep.
So plans can change in a hurry. Things can get uncovered, and or damages can happen, and it may change the situation completely. So having those good lines of communication, sharing those plans, and that way all parties involved can really kind of contribute to the success of a job.
Tim, you've been to these OGA events before. We're kind of peeling the curtain back a little bit for folks back home that maybe haven't been able to come out and see this event in action, or maybe they don't have the opportunity. What could you say to those folks back home that haven't been out that might motivate them to come out?
I really enjoy these just for the collaboration that kind of takes place in these. We're all operators, and so it's good to share ideas and what's working, what's not working, and there's so much out there, so many different aspects within the gas industry, not only dam prevention, but leak survey, or just general operations as well. And so sharing those ideas and collaborating and getting to meet your peers face to face, all the teams and stuff has been really, really great. There's something about shaking a hand and putting a name with a face, and developing those friendships and relationships.
And that's how this continues on right here.
Right.
Yes. So,
No doubt. Did you even let him introduce himself? We are so out of
Tim Teal with Summit Utilities.
Glad you've been on. We'll get better as the week goes forward.
We're like a well-oiled machine right now.
Oiling machine, for sure.
Thanks, brother.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
you,
guys.
brother. We'll see you on stage. We'll be back.
And better.
You can tell how we get fancier as the day goes.
Yeah, hold on a second. I get fancier too. Beautiful vintage.
We change our caffeine intake.
James, we just feasted on one of the nicest barbecues I've had in a long time.
It was good. A lot of good bites in there. Had to pick a winner. What was your?
The burnt ends was my pick.
I went the sausage, and I'm I'm not just going to throw a. I know you can go buy sausage everywhere, but that sausage was different.
Yes, I
was
agree with
good.
you. It was.
Yeah.
It was,
It was solid performance. Great couple of days here.
Yeah.
Great being on stage with you, man.
It was
as
wonderful.
always.
Yep.
Fun group today, packed house.
We did have a packed house, James. It was amazing. And you had a really big crowd for your panel discussion on damage prevention.
I think most people showed up because they just wanted to hurry up and get to the barbecue. We were the only one that stood in their way. But we'll take it, whatever it takes, right, to fill a room. No, it was great. A lot of work goes into these. I've been close with this one because of the OGA and my involvement. So seeing it firsthand come to fruition, the great people that have been involved. Hey, this has been, I've seen great things happen in this hall. Great conversations, our own conversations
Without a
with
doubt.
our own folks.
Yeah. Knowledge sharing.
Yeah,
Knowledge sharing,
lots
knowledge
of good stuff,
sharing.
and I've heard great things about this hall. So
Yeah.
proud of that. Can't wait to talk tomorrow in the board meeting, kind of behind closed doors a little bit on what everybody thinks of this show.
I hope the response in the board meeting is just as good as the response that I'm seeing from the folks that have attended this week. And an official thank you to you, the board, the OGA. This has been a fantastic week, so thank you.
And again, I usually, in moments like when we vote on things that involve me or EWN or something, I usually step back and let that all occur, right? So definitely no dirty pool in here, dirty poker. But knowing that the board trusts us to, number one, bring the show here.
Absolutely.
To speak to the members. And the last thing, being a part of the tribute to Tom Ryder.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
During these last couple days, which we're about to
Clinton Hicks.
Roll out. Yeah,
Ashley Jesco.
Real champions back home organizing it and turning it around so fast. You, sir, being able to pull off everything here and help show this industry what we're doing here in Oklahoma. These great folks here, these great operators and contractors and suppliers,
Yeah, absolutely. All the way through. And the amount of, like I said, knowledge sharing, the amount of collaboration. When I say collaboration, collaborative thoughts. I heard so many best practice conversations, so many topics on safety. Everything from calibrations. The whole bit. People are just having all these robust conversations. Lindsay is over here. She's making it happen day in and day out. We took her right down. I had opportunity with a customer of ours, and Lindsay popped up. She goes, "Let's go talk to him."
Yeah.
So we went right down the. We
Making
went right
things
down the end
happen.
and we make it happen. So now she has a personal connection with that because met him face to face.
Absolutely. So
love
again, thank you, Jason Crow. Thank you, Jeff Kaufman, Cheryl, everybody at OGA on the board that have helped make this happen. Thanks for getting us to Knuckleheads here and being a part of spreading this message. Thank you back home. Until next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.